Analysis of this two-day evidence by Mkhwanazi. We're joined by security strategist and former Interpol ambassador, Andy Mashaile. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Are you surprised, Andy, by the extent and the frank nature of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's evidence before Parliament?
Good morning to you, Michelle, and to the viewers. No, I am not surprised by his frankness. He is a well-calculated man. In one of the lines that he delivered, he spoke about a line from Sun Tzu, meaning he is an ardent reader of the book, The Art of War. And that suggests, Michelle, that he didn't just talk blubberingly, waffling. He prepared what he was going to say and calculated the impact, which is why the frankness.
Yeah, I mean, however things proceed now, Andy, the SAPS and the top leadership of the SAPS and the dynamic that existed there, whatever it was, is changed, perhaps irreparably, right? Because how do we go back to our jobs given the evidence that we've heard so far?
Michelle, irreparably, the atmosphere, the nature and the complexion of the world of work of SAPS at top leadership level has gone into a topsy-turvy state. And this suggests that even those who are brave, who might show confidence, hold their head high and walk in and out of the offices, there will be those looks that will affect your spirit, whether you like it or not, especially those in the crime intelligence space. And secondly, those who are operating in the investigative directorate against corruption, IDEC, those that were mentioned for having it cross the floors from SAPS and finding themselves with IDEC and investigating. What he stopped short of saying was that those who had joined IDEC went there, amongst others, to hunt down those who were their seniors at SAPS and those who always wanted to rattle crime intelligence. You remember he mentioned some of the general, one general to be specific, the general who owned a farm elsewhere and used the slush fund of crime intelligence to pay for the employees or the laborers at the farm. So if you are in that space, Michelle, and your name gets belted out and the allegation gets belted out in a way and manner in front of Parliament, parliamentarians and South Africans, it is bound to affect you, like it or not, and negatively for that space.
Look, he did say some worrying things about crime intelligence in relation to journalists and media practitioners, essentially calling on Parliament to go after or to instruct certain sections of crime intelligence to go after journalists for particular stories. He says when journalists report incorrectly as well, they should face hefty fines, even jail time. Andy, of course, crime intelligence cannot be above the law.
Quite correct, Michelle. The line, the lesson that I drew from that submission was that some of the things that belong, some of the information, Michelle, that belongs in the space of intelligence, be it crime intelligence or the national intelligence, should remain in that space. And also the second point that I picked up from that line of submission was that where do the journalists get the information that's the sole property of an intelligence agency in this context and in this space, be it the crime intelligence agency, who then supplies them with intelligence, classified information, as we have learned that a few days after Diana Kola-Barnett spoke on matters that belong to the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, one of the media agencies, specifically he mentioned News 24, went on to write about that classified information. So this tells you that he was moving from a point of view as well as a strategic tactical move that says those who possess classified intelligence are committing or are an accomplice to crime, and therefore must be charged either for defeating the ends of justice and many other criminal charges that can be packaged in on having information that is classified.
So what are you saying, Andy? Because if it wasn't for the reporting and investigative journalism that uncovered the abuse of the slush fund of crime intelligence, we would never have known the extent of the corruption there. So what are you saying? Yes, the information is obviously classified, but, you know, do we not report on it if we do receive the information?
I am going to balance public interest and criminality. I think he is moving, you and I are moving from an element of the public's interest. Mm-hmm. He is moving from an angle that says, whilst there is public interest on the matter, Andy and Michelle, it's not your space to be reporting on this matter. This space belongs to the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. Maybe he stopped short of saying, Andy and Michelle, please go and talk to the Joint Standing Committee on these matters, but not share them openly on an open platform as we learned that Mama Diana Kolabana did. I will always balance the two interests, your public interest and support it, as well as to avoid criminality, balance it out with public interest. Ultimately, those who provided us with the information, us meaning the ordinary public, people who are not members of any intelligence agency, we want to know so that people who have been committing theft of the slush fund must go to jail, and all those who have been using intelligence agencies like crime intelligence to commit crime, leading to the killing of people and many of these things. We want them in orange overalls. So it is our interest versus what he was raising. And obviously, ignorantia legis neminem excusa. The law excuses no one. If we commit crime, he wants you and I behind bars. But in this instance, we believe that it is the public's interest that those rogue elements inside crime intelligence must be rooted out.
All right. Andy Mashaile is a security strategist. He's also a former Interpol ambassador. Andy, thanks for your time.